This is day 82 for this garden, and y'all, it is a jungle in there. I am actually getting ready to thin out this arrow garden. I got to be very careful because I got my babies over here that are ripening. You see all in there. I'm getting ready to have some good ripe tomatoes on this Siam. But I have been harvesting basil almost every day, and every other day is back at the top of the light. And then the poor basil back there is getting burnt up, and you can barely even see it way in the back right here. So I am getting ready to take this garden down. I'm going to drain all the water. Luckily, it don't have that much water in it, but I'm going to put the tubing in here, drain the water out anyway. And then I'm actually going to remove these basil plants completely to see if I can get and encourage more growth on this orange hat tomato plant, because it's not a heavy producer, but at the same time I don't know if it's competing for nutrients. So we're gonna take out the purple basil and the green basil and see if we can thin this out. I'm not going to cut any of the leaves off of these tomatoes because I have tomatoes that are ripening, and I don't want to signal to the plant that it's time to regenerate any kind of leaf or foliage growth. Okay, so this is what that garden looked like now that I've taken it down. You've seen all this purple basil. You see all these tomato plants, and you saw my green basil out the back right there. So harvesting all of this purple basil, this is what it looks like. And some of the green basil was harvested in there too. You just really can't see it, but this is what the purple basil looked like harvested. And this is what the green basil looked like after I harvested. In these next photos that's coming up, or this video that's coming up now, y'all, I want y'all to see my tomatoes after I did this harvest, after I cut down that basil stem, and I actually wound up removing it completely. And then after I took out the purple basil, you see I have more tomato plants coming in. The Siams are doing wonderful. A few more of the orange hats, but they still are not very productive at all, as you all see. But my purple basil isn't growing like it was, but that's okay. I'm not really worried about that. But my Siams are producing more and more clusters beautifully. I could not be more satisfied with how this plant is going. And if I didn't say it, this is day 88. And real quick, let's go ahead on and check the water and the root system in here so y'all can kind of look at that. Look at that. There is no water in here. That's the reason why that pump is sounding so loudly. But I'm going to get some water in these plants, but I'm very proud about how this is going. Okay, y'all. These plants are 100 days old, and it is time for me to get in here and do some major cleanup in this arrow garden. It is overwhelmed with tomatoes. This is a Siam tomato, and I have harvested off of this plant about 4 times, and I'm about to make another harvest because she is heavy and full, and she has tomatoes everywhere the eye can see. All on the other side of the plant is tomatoes, and then over here I have my unprolific. She is not giving me nothing. Orange hats. This will actually be the first harvest off of her with these orange ones here, and I see one turning orange there, but she is now full of beautiful flowers. So I don't know if she's just a late bloomer or what. But I'm getting ready to get in here and prune all of this back because I got a lot of brown leaves here, and then my purple basil is not growing anymore, and I've harvested several times off of this basil. I'm not sure if the tomato plants are starting to overcrowd it and it's not getting light, but either way it goes, and it got so wild I have to do something with it. But I did want to document what my tomato plants are looking like at 100 days. And if I didn't say it before, this is a Siam, and she's very prolific. This is 4th harvest. She actually had tomatoes ready for her, she had tomatoes at 45 days. But about 50 to 65 days, I was making my first harvest. Now she at day 100, and she's steady producing, y'all. So very proud of this plant. Look, and she got buds on her too. Look, see, she's still doing. So I want to make sure that this plant has enough energy to produce me some more tomatoes, and she's still going. So I'm going to be harvesting all of these off of here. and then pruning the plants up. And that's kind of what they look like at a distance. Okay, so now I have gotten the garden back into place, and y'all can see that there's a lot more air through here. I can access the purple basil a lot better. The purple basil actually can get some of that light directly upon it. And I harvested all of those orange tomatoes. I left the ones that were ripening. Hopefully this will go ahead and encourage these babies to go ahead on and start fruiting. For the Siams, I took all the red tomatoes off of it, pruned it up a little bit too. Maybe that'll help the rest of these kind of develop bigger, because you see where they are smaller, like this one is ripening and is really small. Is a very tiny tomato. I'm not surprised because of the number of harvests I've got on it. So now that the plant is getting old and this life cycle is going through it, even at 100 days, they making smaller tomatoes. But that may be because I had so many on there that was ripening at one point that it probably stunted the growth of these. So we're gonna see. I'm not gonna give up on this plant. I think it can last a lot longer. I had tomato plants last a lot longer in this AeroGarden, and it's still producing flowers and buds. So hopefully with the pruning and the harvesting, I can get bigger tomatoes on the next round. So yeah, this was it. This is what it looked like. Okay, here are all the tomatoes that I picked off of this Siam plant here, and just a few of those orange hats off of this plant here.